Good morning, everybody. So I'm gonna start this off by saying I'm sick, in case you can't tell. Don't worry, Mom. I'm not dying. It's just allergies, I think. But so I'm sorry if my voice is like sounding like a man or whatever, but it's just one of those things. But I wanted to film a video to talk about holidays in foster care. So we've had one of our girls for almost a year now, and all year she's been talking about Christmas and how excited she is about Christmas and how great Christmas is going to be. And then the day after Thanksgiving, that's when our family traditionally puts up our Christmas decorations. So we start getting the Christmas stuff out, and her sister, the one that we've only had for about half that time, she is like out here and super excited and ready to hang stuff up. And the one that we've had for longer, she's in her room and she's not throwing a fit. She's not like upset or anything. She's just in her room and she doesn't want to come out and be part of the family. And so I started decorating the stuff, and I have, for some strange reason, I ended up with like 4 Christmas trees. So this one is our like big one. And then I have 2 that I bought when I was in the Air Force. I had them in my office, and I brought them home, and they're little tiny like Charlie Brown Christmas tree type Christmas trees. And then I have one that's a fiber optic tree that my brother got me when I got back from England. So it was the first Christmas tree that I had like on my own. And this is the first year that I've gotten like all of them out in the house. But I took one of the like little Charlie Brown ones that was just like, and I took it in her room, and I'm talking to her about the tree. I'm like, this tree needs you. And that's Jasper. I'm sorry. He loves the Christmas tree. He'll be under there all season long. So if I film any more videos, that's probably where he's going to be. But anyway, I'm like, this tree needs you. Like, it's going to be very sad without you. And she's just not want to come out, and she doesn't want to talk about it. And her coping method is avoidance in any way, shape, or form. That's just how she decides to cope. And when that doesn't work, when we first got her, it would go straight to rage, and then we could get her into what was going on. Now she will go more into like the direct emotions, which for her, she's sad because she's not back with Mom. And in their past, they have gone back to Mom before Christmas. So they were kind of anticipating that would happen. And she hadn't been talking about it, but she was super excited about Christmas. And then the day comes and we're putting everything up. But I knew, like, I let her stay in there for a little while. But I knew if she came out and Christmas was already put up, she would be super sad that she didn't get to help decorate. I go in there and I start talking to her, and she kind of starts crying, but she doesn't want to be comforted, so I leave her. And a little bit later, I go back in there, and finally she comes out and she wants to help decorate. And everything was good for the most part for the rest of the day. But we're starting to see some like old behaviors coming back up, and it's completely expected. There's some things that we kind of worked through with her a little bit, and just because of the time of year, she's just having a hard time. So that's one of the things you gotta kind of expect with foster kids. Everybody else is gonna be, most kids are pretty excited about Christmas and Santa and all the other stuff, but like adults, generally we get excited because we're gonna be with our family. That's why I'm excited. My family's coming. And it's just a fun time to be with family. Well, kids are like that too, and they know that something is wrong or that they're sad that they're not going to be with their family. So I fully anticipate that Christmas Day we will have quite the blow up. I'm pretty sure that she's going to lose it. And my mom and her husband and my brother are coming out, and they already know, and they're fine with it. Like, this is just a part of her process. She deserves this. I mean, she doesn't deserve to feel this way, but she deserves the respect of being allowed to grieve, because essentially that's what's going on. She's upset. She's grieving. So yeah, it doesn't help that her birthday is super close to the Christmas season. So all these holidays are happening, and it's just, it's hard for her because it all happens at the same time and she doesn't really get a good clean break between like birthday and Christmas and Thanksgiving and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I've been more frustrated now than I was when we first got her. It's been harder for me to have patience with her because it's like, okay, you know this behavior isn't gonna get you what you want. You know that this isn't gonna work. And last year when she first came to us, she didn't want anything to do with John, so I had to like deal with everything. And she trusts me more than most people, so she'll get, this sounds counterintuitive to some people, but she'll lose it on me more than she will anybody else, and she'll fight with me more. And people say that it's just because like she knows that I'm not going anywhere and she trusts me, and so she feels like she can just let all of that out. Sorry, that was really sexy. But yeah, my husband this year, like this time of year, now she's a lot closer to him. So like this morning she started to have a meltdown, and luckily he was home, and he came in and got me, and he was like, you just let me deal with it. And so he came in and he talked to her. She didn't want to wear the outfit that I'd helped her pick out. She wanted to try and wear something different because it's Spirit Week at school, and she was supposed to look like a mathlete or an athlete, and she wanted to look like a mathlete. So I was trying to help her, and anyway, got her all dressed, and then she decides, no, I don't want to wear this. Well, I love my child, but if I let her change, she'll change like 20 times, and then she's late for school. So once she's dressed, that's kind of how it goes. She stays dressed. But yeah, she just didn't want to cooperate this morning, and John was able to come in and talk her into going into the bathroom and brushing her hair, and then I did her and her teeth, and then I did her hair, and she was okay. She was still a little pouty when she went into school. And like last night, she was a little rough with one of the animals. And I anticipate that that's because she felt like she wasn't getting enough attention. That's generally what she does. She'll act out if she feels like she's not getting enough attention. But you know, we've talked about that's not the way to get attention. And yeah, so it's a hard time of year. And so if you know any foster families out there, help them out. Because like I can't just take her and leave her with somebody for an hour. I can't do that. Like, we're going to try and do that this week on Friday. Our church is having a respite night. Respite's when somebody watches your kids. And we're going to take them and leave them, and they'll be put into, because John and I, before we became foster parents, we helped with this night. And so they would get put into different classrooms, and they have like creative activities that they get to do. And then they get to decorate a sugar cookie. And then they go in and watch a movie, and they get fed pizza, and it's a fun thing. But I'm like nervous to leave her there because I don't know how she's gonna behave. Generally, she's better when with other people. Like, she reserves her fits and anger for me, which is fine. I'd rather deal with that. Like, at least then I know I can leave her with somebody, and she's not gonna like break everything in sight. But it still makes me nervous. I don't like leaving them with, people in foster care. So I mentioned respite. There are a bunch of different kinds of respite. One of those is that if you take a vacation with your family and either you don't want to take your foster kids, which if you're going with your whole family, I think that's a little silly. It's different if it's like you and your husband or you and your wife are going away for the weekend or whatever, and somebody needs to watch them. But if you're taking your whole family, or like if we were going to Tennessee or Iowa to see family, they would be coming with us. But you can have someone, they would go stay with someone else for like a week. Sometimes the case plan won't allow for the child to go. So like if you're taking a long trip, like John and I, when we went home one time, we took a 3-week road trip. Well, if they have visits, and that's not just our kids, it's any kids, if they have visits and the trip is going to cause them to miss their visits, the state may not allow them to go. And there's nothing you can do about that. But you can have people watch your foster children while you're out of town. So that's one kind of respite that is available to foster parents, because you're not allowed to just like, oh, like if your grandparents in the state of Arizona, if your grandparents for the kids live like, close enough that they could stay over, they can stay over for the night. They can't stay longer than that, like, because they have to stay in like licensed care or whatever. And that's part of why you do respite. But during the holidays, there is no way that I would leave my kids. That's part of why we weren't going anywhere this year for the holidays, is because I'm not going to go without them, and I don't know that the case plan really permits the girls leaving, just due to the visit schedule and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's just my spiel about holidays and respite. I guess I gave you a little bit about respite, but if you have any questions, or if you know anybody who's having some behaviors with their kiddos during the holidays, just feel free to ask any questions.